We're voluntold.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Then,
Okay.
let's help me out a little bit. We'll call the meeting to order and have roll call. Since I am not real familiar with all of you, if I please ask you to just give your name for roll call. Mr. Donovan, I understand?
Yes, sir.
And your first name, I'm sorry.
It's Donovan.
It's down.
Donovan, okay.
Yeah, last name's Day.
Oh, okay, very good. And Vanessa?
Jessica.
Jessica, I'm sorry.
Erickson.
Okay,
Brian Sager.
and Larry Smith, and we're the only members here, so.
We have to.
Oh, we got a couple on board.
Mark Stricker.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve that Mark Stricker will attend remotely?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Sager and seconded by Jessica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark, hey, this is Larry Smith. Leo, did you hear that Leo Leone and Nick Radcliffe has resigned? So I'm running the machine, running the meeting as president pro tem. So if there's anything that I forget to call you or you want to chirp in, just holler, okay? We'll go with that's probably okay. Minutes approval for the October 18th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Moved by Dr. Sager, seconded by Jessica. Any comments regarding the October 18th meeting? No comments. We'll go to vote to approve those. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Go to number 3, public comment. Do we have any public comment this morning? Gianna, you hear anybody wants to speak? No public contact? No public comment. We'll go to new business. 4.1, resolution to appoint and vote on a new chairman of the McHenry County Enterprise Zone. Do we have anyone that would like to step forward and appoint someone to?
Okay, I nominate Donovan.
I agree with that.
Thank you. I'm just gonna nominate Jessica.
Then we have a motion on the floor to appoint Donovan to the chair. Is there any other one that would be interested in this position, or we will close the nominations? Motion to close the nominations. Nominations are closed. Dr. Sager makes that motion. Jessica seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark, yeah, okay. So, if there's no other nominations, we'll go to vote on the new chairman. Jessica? Yes or no?
Oh,
We're voting on
sure,
a new
yeah.
chair. Yes,
Love
just, so it's in the books?
Yeah.
Dr. Stockway?
Yes.
Yes. I'll vote yes. Donovan, you'll vote yes for yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a new chair. Do I step down now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
for your service.
Yep.
Wasn't long enough for me to mess up too much.
That's good on the resume.
Yeah, chairman of the Enterprise Zone for.
But it's circa 2025 to
I gotta change your LinkedIn.
Do you have an agenda by chance?
Here you go, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Am I taking it over from here?
Yep.
We're on item 4.2, resolution to appoint and vote on a new vice chairman of the McHenry County Enterprise Zone. Is there anyone that would like to nominate someone?
I nominate Jessica.
She's currently the secretary, so
Well,
we could still,
we
then
could
we'd have to make a
yeah, we can go.
resolution next time for a new secretary.
Okay, I'll second that.
And do we have to do a roll call vote, or can it be all in favor?
Any other nominations?
Yeah.
Gotta check for their nomination.
Any other nominations?
Nope, I'll make a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And thank you. A motion to appoint Jessica as the new vice chairman of the McHenry County Enterprise Zone.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
And any comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. No, nobody opposed. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Moving on to item 5.1, financial update.
Okay, I'm gonna, so you all have a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement for the zone in front of you. We are coming to the end of our fiscal year, budget year 2024, 2025. So today we'll kind of talk about how we're looking to end up, as I don't anticipate a ton of activity in the zone between now and April 30th. Income ended up being slightly higher than anticipated with our budget at $12,960 in project fees. Of course, we had our annual partner contribution, which was $56,045.08 in miscellaneous income. So that put us at a total income of $69,005.27. Expense-wise, as discussed at our meetings prior, the administrator absorbed the majority of the costs that had been budgeted for historically. So all of those advertising and promotion costs that were originally laid out in the budget that are allocated to the website, same deal with in-zone events. We didn't have anybody attend the enterprise zone meeting. So again, that kind of got subsumed into the administrative budget rather than being on the zone's budget. There's a possibility that we'll see one more project fee this year, which I anticipate being somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000. So we'll end up in a healthy cash position. From an equity position, right now we're just under $18,000 in cash, and that would go up. I wanted to touch base on the conversation we had at the last meeting regarding the outstanding accounts receivable. Since our last meeting, we've made a number of attempts to collect those accounts receivable. We were successful in collecting the outstanding $2,000 from Gerber Collision in Woodstock. We did identify that the Harvard Community Credit Union AR that had been posted was actually an error. The project didn't move forward, however, it had been invoiced in the past, and so that was just hanging out. So we established, so that was written off. The other two that are on there, we did make attempts to collect the balance. I don't think that we're going to collect those balances. So that's $1,950. It's my recommendation that as we come towards the end of the budget year, write those two remaining off and start the 2025-2026 budget year with no outstanding accounts receivable, because those have aged beyond 2 years. I'm not confident that, based on discussions, that the purpose or the amount of the fee had been effectively communicated in those two cases. And so therefore it is my recommendation to write those off. But we did talk a little bit about other alternatives as to what we can do. Low confidence on collection. So we'll be building the budget for 2025-2026, which I recommend we hold a meeting in April to discuss and approve that budget. From where we sit right now, I think it's appropriate to build it in sort of the same fashion that we did in the past, where the administrator absorbs the majority of the cost. The things that we would want to incorporate in the budget as we structure it is the board would need to identify if you want to have a board representative attend the annual Illinois Enterprise Zone Association meeting, which will take place in Springfield in June. Because if that were the case, that would be the board paying for that. We plan to attend that meeting, but that's an administrative cost that we should cover in our duty as administrator. But if you want to send someone as well, that would be a cost to you. So that's really what I have. I do think that we're at a point where we really have our arms wrapped around the enterprise zone at this point, and we stand to see a significant increase in project fee income for next year. So I think that we'll be looking at a positive budget, but I can have that prepared for review at the next meeting. Any questions?
What is our fiscal year?
It's May to April. Yeah, May 1st to April 30th.
Mark, a couple of questions if you
Yes.
don't mind. First, those couple of businesses that you say we need to kind of just politely write off. Can you give me a little bit more detail about why we need to just write those off?
So one of those businesses I did have a conversation with, and it appears that there was confusion between prior administration when the project work was done as to what the purpose of the project fee, which goes directly to the zone, was, and whether that would be the responsibility of that business, or the business was under the impression that the city was supposed to take on that fee. So there was a significant misunderstanding in that scenario, and that's one that's $1,500.
So you're saying that the responsibility there was our responsibility? You believe that we're responsible for that poor communication?
I believe that yes, the administrative side.
Okay. And the other one?
The other one, is Liberator Auto Works. It's $450. I believe there was some confusion about when that project was intended to start. The thing that I want to make clear on that one is that there was a whole nother project that the fee was collected and was completed, and the benefits were received on that same property. It happened under a different name, and the fee that was actually collected ultimately was actually higher than the outstanding one for $450. So I don't think that it's necessary to chase that down when the impact of the effect of the enterprise zone, the benefit was received in that case.
Well, I certainly appreciate the explanation and understand that it likely is a wise decision to go ahead and just write those two off for those identified reasons then. But I think we just have to be cautious in the future and make sure that we don't repeat our inability to communicate with the businesses that we're working with, and they need to know clearly that there is a fee associated and that fee goes to this entity so that we can continue to move forward. And we can't just, and I'm not suggesting that this is happening now, but we can't just kind of say, oh, well, I'm sorry you're having difficulty, we'll take care of that for you. I think we have to kind of be very professional about this, and I'm confident that you will be as we move forward. So
I totally agree, and it's about expectation setting when the initial discussion happens with the administrator, right? That's our responsibility to say, here are the expectations and the responsibilities on you as the project, and that extends beyond the initial fee payment all the way to project closing forms, all the way to what the communication with the county assessor has to be in a forward-going fashion. So yes, I agree with you. You're absolutely right. It is our responsibility, and it's one that we take very seriously going forward.
I think that it would be beneficial for you and for the record to reflect that if indeed there is consensus here, that we have consensus that we need to just go ahead and write those off and quote unquote kind of clear the table, if you will, as we move forward in our financial planning. So I support that, and I think maybe we need to have general consensus on that.
I support that also. A couple things from, I guess, when you took over, we don't issue a tax waiver or anything like that until the fee's paid.
That's correct.
Forward, so they don't get any benefit until the fee's paid at least. And then filing all the proper paperwork. And then the second question, how long have these been sitting out there?
3 years and 2 years. So
I have no problem with what you're saying for doing that, but not right here particularly. We were talking about doing it at the end of the year or when the new budget was made.
we would book that in fiscal year 2024, 2025. So that'll reflect a loss on that fiscal year, and then going forward, we won't carry that AR into 2025, 2026.
When are you suggesting we take that action?
I would recommend we do it now, and then the financial report that's shared in April will reflect that, and then the new budget won't reflect any outstanding accounts receivable.
That's fine with me.
Any other comments, Mark?
No, I agree with everything you guys said. Appreciate it.
The other thing I want to touch back on is there a desire for anyone who sits on the board, not as the administrator, but to attend the Enterprise Zone Association with us? That's June, sorry, should have had that ready to rock. June 11th and 12th in Springfield.
Personally, I would not, so.
Fair enough.
I don't feel the need to go if you guys are there, but.
It's not something that's been done in the past, and it is generally, the information there is generally more oriented to administrators. But I want you to know that you have, we would certainly welcome you to attend if that was something you were interested in.
I'm comfortable with Mark representing us there.
Yep, absolutely, agree with that. Mark, maybe Mark would like to.
Mark, are you okay with that?
No, I'm buried.
All right. Okay, so there's a consensus on waiving those dues.
Understood? We'll make it so.
And moving on to 5.2, bank signatory update.
Okay, so there was confusion about this towards the end of last year and into this year. So I just want to establish what we've figured out at this point. At present, the current signatories are myself, Donovan, and Jessica. Larry Smith has been removed as a signatory. Garrett Anderson, who is no longer with the organization, has been removed. Lou, Nick, and James Sitko, who's no longer with the administrator, have all been removed. So I just wanted to let you guys all know who is the signatories. The reason that I remain a signatory, I don't sign checks for the organization. However, I need to access the bank account information to A, deposit checks, and B, create the financial reports and update the financial reports. So when a check goes out, that's always going to be the board, and those checks will be signed at these meetings or at a meeting with the chairman or vice chair. But beyond that, that's the only people that are signatories at this stage. As we bring someone in to take the secretary position that's open, we can add them as a signatory. But beyond that, I think that's where it should kind of end. If anybody feels otherwise, I'm happy to hear it. We're happy to make those adjustments, but wanted to clear up that confusion and let you know that we are, I think, in the right place.
Sounds like we did a good job electing Donovan as chair and Jessica as vice chair right now, because now you don't have to do anything else, so I think it's great.
Worked out perfect.
Okay. Moving on to item 6, partner reports, 6.1 Harvard. The credit union is ramping up again. They did get all of their permit approvals. They're currently housed in a house, and they're going to be building a brand new building. We've pushed them for the enterprise zone. Doesn't seem like they're interested. It sounds like they might have a tax break already, that they won't pay sales tax. I'm not sure, but they're not interested. So, and then outside of that, Starbucks is still under construction. Dunkin's been open for a while. Wow Car Wash, that took advantage of the program, just opened on Thursday. So didn't know there'd be that much excitement for a car wash, but there's a lot of excitement. I've gotten my truck washed 2 days in a row. I canceled my gym membership to get a car wash membership. I don't know if that's the right course of action, but we'll find out. My pants still fit at the end of summer. This year we're projecting 50 new homes. We had 57 last year, which is the most Harvard's had, and these are all infill lots that we've been pushed to get filled up, so that's working out well, creating deals with local developers and permit breaks and things like that. And then there's we have a part of town that has some dilapidated buildings that there's talk about redeveloping it with a retail center and potential for a tiny home development for workforce housing, beginning discussions, but workforce housing is being championed by our mayor and council right now, so we're looking at anything we can do to help the town achieve that. That's pretty much it for Harvard right now.
Sounds good.
Then we have 6.2 Marengo. No representatives from Marengo here.
Not present, but I'll share a brief update on that. So Marengo has undergone some changes as well. As you see, Nick Radcliffe has left the city as city administrator. He was also on the enterprise zone. Currently, Derek Moorfield is in a contract capacity with the city of Marengo. He and the mayor have indicated that he will be the point of contact for enterprise zone for the foreseeable future. And he indicated that he would like to sit on the board and that he may even be interested in that secretary position, which would work out absolutely perfectly. MCEDC is in discussion with Marengo. As you all may be aware, they are the recipient of a $3 million DCEO grant that is going to help their ongoing project to bring water and sewer down from the city to the I-2390 interchange. So we're paying very close attention to that in our capacity as the county's economic development arm, as well as in our capacity as the enterprise zone. The enterprise zone does extend down to that area, but some of the key sites are not included in the zone. So we are we're monitoring that situation, and we'll do kind of what we need to do in order to make sure that businesses that would be interested in locating in that area will have the optimal amount of benefits available, including but not limited to enterprise zone. So anything else on Marengo, Pete, you want to share?
No, it's a pretty good summary. And as you alluded, the two biggest chunks that are immediately adjacent to 90 are in unincorporated McHenry County. Mm-hmm. They're logically going to be in Marengo when they get developed. And that's when that happens. If they want the benefits of the enterprise zone, we're just going to have to amend the boundary. Yep. We'll see it coming.
Okay, thank you for that. 6.3 Woodstock.
All right, there's a lot happening in Woodstock. A lot of our focus right now is on our downtown with a need to identify a new development partner for the former diecast site. If you didn't know, we had a developer signed on, financing fell through, and so we are actively out looking for a new development partner for that. It's 9 acres downtown adjacent to the metro station. And then we also have our, the Sheriff's House side of the old courthouse center is available for lease, the entirety of the Sheriff's House. So it used to be Mobcraft, and then Ethereal was leasing out the kitchen and the upper level of that. We're looking for a single tenant to fill the entirety of that space. And then we also have the hotel development that's moving forward on Calhoun. We expect construction to start there late summer, early fall this year, and be complete and open by the end of next year, by the end of 26. I think November of 26 is when they expect to be open and operating. We've also just kicked off the process of developing a downtown master plan. So we've hired consultants to help us develop a downtown master plan, and they'll be in town first in April. We expect that to be about a 10 to 12 month process, but really looking for kind of comprehensive, cohesive approach to downtown from a infrastructure, transportation, future development, business development, economic development perspective. Route 47, we still believe that the bid letting will happen in April, so very soon, and then construction to start TBD. So anywhere from as early as this summer to as late as next spring, just depending on the contractor and how things play out and weather and all of the things involved in such a big project. Though there is tree clearing and utility relocates happening right now for the project. Specific to the enterprise zone, Mark and I are working with, working on a project, a company that is considering acquisition of a building at 610 East Judd Street. It's the M4 building, if anybody's familiar with, it's the M4 is a plastic injection molding company that has occupied that building for a long time, and is kind of phasing out of business, and they have a potential buyer for that building that would put some significant investment there and ultimately create as many as 130 to 140 jobs. It may do even a physical expansion into that building, so that would be a great project for Woodstock and for the enterprise zone. If it pans out, we just did an inducement resolution for them to use to funds as part of that project as well.
That's great.
Dispensary.
Oh, we have a dispensary opening, our first dispensary in the former Burger King space. I think they're actually open now. The ribbon cutting is next week, but they're open and operating in the former Burger King building now. Yeah.
Know your hard work on Route 47 is finally coming to fruition.
Well, keep
We'll
your fingers
see,
crossed.
yeah.
There's been, as you probably have noticed, there's been a lot of work to remove trees, and that kind of shocked a lot of residents, but remove trees and then, replace utilities, kind of move those from one area to another area. That's a huge cost, and so there was a lot of consternation in terms of the increase in cost with inflation and that type of thing.
Yeah, we just need to come up with $16 million.
Yeah, it's on, so if anybody has any extra
$16 million
dollars laying around, Woodstock would accept those dollars. But, things are moving along, I think, very, very well. And it will surprise people, I think, with the rapidity at which that construction will move forward. I know everybody will want it to be done tomorrow, but it's going to take a couple of years, but it will get done.
That'll be great.
With a lot of roundabouts, by the way.
3 new roundabouts, yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right, thank you, everyone. Item 7, Administrative Report, 7.1, Staff Update.
Okay, so lots of updates on our end. Most importantly, I would like to introduce Kristen Geske. She is new with the MCEDC and therefore new with the administrator of the enterprise zone. Her role at MCEDC is the marketing and outreach coordinator, and that role will extend to the enterprise zone administratorship as well, as you see evidenced by what you have in front of you today. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kristen, tell them a little bit about your background.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen. As Mark just said, I'm the new Marketing and Outreach Coordinator. I went to Columbia College Chicago back in 2022. Really found my route in marketing and nonprofit. Started in copywriting nonprofit in the city. Moved to Home of the Sparrow, and now have come over here to join this side. Very nice. Yeah.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
We're very, very glad to have her on a lot of levels. So just as a quick update, most of you know by now, James Sitko is no longer with the MCEDC. He was the FOIA officer for the enterprise zone. I am now the FOIA officer for the enterprise zone. Kristen is going to become a secondary FOIA officer, which is a fun task that she's just finding out right now. And probably will be excited to learn what that is. But if anybody gets an enterprise zone related FOIA request, because they often do come to the county first, forward it to me. And that, just for clarity's sake, enterprise zone FOIAs should be forwarded to the administrator. We did have a FOIA request recently, which actually ended up being a voluminous request, and we responded as such. Happy to answer any other questions about that. Okay, moving on into project update. We've got, there's a Woodstock project in the pipeline currently that I want to touch base on the process really quickly with, because I think this is important to that clarity and that understanding and setting expectations up front. So the project lead was sent to me by Kathleen from Woodstock, and he, said, we're moving forward with this. We're just waiting for some other information to come to light based on easement and things like that. So his concern was that he didn't want to pay a non-refundable fee, but wanted to get established with the zone and wanted to receive the benefits for the application for the building permits. And I said, we can do a preliminary approval without your fee, without collecting your fee, but we will not issue the business material exemption. And of course, we wouldn't issue any abatements until that fee is collected. So he thought that was just fine, but that way he can go to the city of Woodstock and submit everything on that end for building permits, get the reduced cost as well as the streamlined benefits of that. But if something were to go wrong in the engineering or something to that effect, he wouldn't be out the fee. So I thought that preliminary approval process was an appropriate thing, but I just wanted to run it by the municipalities and make sure you guys are on board with that process as well.
Yeah, I think for Harvard, that's the type of help that we want to give someone just to keep the project moving forward, and so I appreciate that effort, yeah.
Yep, and I'll make sure I communicated with Kathleen at Woodstock so she knows where the project's at, and I'll take the same approach. Just say, hey, I spoke with this person, here's the preliminary approval, we haven't issued a certificate, we haven't issued any BMAX yet, haven't done anything with the abatement, but he's good to go so that you can communicate to your planning and development team so they can issue the reduced rate permits. 2024 information, updated abatement information has been sent over to the tax assessor's office. Alex and Brittany and I met a number of times to make sure all of our ducks were in a row. We did have a couple of projects historically that there was some confusion on abatements, when they should start, things like that. So we've met with those property owners, and I want to commend the assessor's office. They did a very nice job of making sure that that the way that they were issuing the abatements aligned with the expectation of the property owners. I think both left very happy with what what the outcome was. So good communication on that end. I did forward all of the projects individually to the municipalities for you guys to verify. If you see, so I sent my list of projects and then the assessor's list of projects. You can kind of compare between the two. If there's a project that you know of that wasn't on enterprise, or that was supposed to be using enterprise zone but doesn't appear on that for fiscal year 20 or for calendar year 23 and 24, let me know. I can let the assessor know, and we can tackle that. So I think we're all good on that end. Questions about the assessment process? Anything?
I just want to say thank you for that report. I think you gave that to me yesterday.
That's
I was able to present that to council at the committee of the whole last night. And it seemed like it was the first time that they've heard these numbers about millions invested, the small amount of fees that were paid in comparison to the millions that were invested, the labor force that's been created out of it. So that was a huge help to me, because you had said, compare this to your files. I don't have any files.
Okay.
I don't know where those exist. We're all new there, so nobody, so that was a huge help, so thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and I am planning for the April meeting that we're going to hopefully set up. I'd like to present that report that does touch on the total investment within the zone, the total net new jobs as a result of it in comparison to the total of fees collected. I think that would be beneficial for us all to have, so we can know where we're at. But I've been collecting that data and kind of putting it together over the past few months. So I'm going to do that report for this group in April.
Great, thank you. Okay.
And then the partner marketing materials. So we've been discussing this in front of you. We just needed Kristen to come and get the project home, and that's kind of what she's done here. So you have what I would say is the final marketing material everybody has a copy for all 3 municipalities as well as the county itself. They all say virtually the same thing. There's obviously in the what we offer section, that is per county because there are different regulations according to the IGA. And then Woodstock's language is a little bit different because they identify that it's exclusively commercial and industrial businesses. And then if you look at the back, that is an application process. You'll see like the enterprise zone application portion on it is underlined. The real idea behind this is for it to exist as a virtual document, as a PDF that you can share via email. These are going to be a great thing to keep in your, in your offices and say, hey, here's an easy thing for you to walk away with as collateral. But we want to make it so that it's, mostly emailed. On that topic, I am happy to create I'll volunteer Kristen for this. We're happy to create a version of your municipalities that includes your name as the economic development coordinator or as, whatever your title is, if that would be preferable. We can change the QR code to be mapped to your municipality if you like. Right now, that just goes to the map to identify whether the property in question is in the zone or not. So most of you have given feedback on this already. I'd like you to take this back with you, and if there is further feedback, get that to us, and hopefully by April, we will have the final, and we can provide you that digitally where you can print as many as you like. We're happy to print, some of these, but I don't want to, give you a huge stack of paper that's just kind of sitting on a shelf somewhere. So kind of ball's in your court now. Let me know what's good. Let me know if you like anything changed, and you can issue that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So it looks like the colors kind of align with the brand colors of each.
That was our
municipal-
approach. Yep.
Are they the actual brand colors?
No.
Okay, can I send you our actual blue
Absolutely.
to use? Okay.
That would be greatly appreciated. I think the logos ended up looking really nice. If you have a PNG of the logo, please feel free to send that as well, because I think these are, I don't know, I can't answer that, but yes, we will take your brand. Any brand stuff that you'd like to incorporate, we'll happily incorporate.
I like them. I think they look great.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They do. On Harvard's, the only change I see is the property tax abatement. That's just for the school district and city portion of property tax abatement.
Mm-hmm.
So we just add that in there.
Okay.
Kristen, if that's okay.
Yep.
Do you have an email set up? I can email you
do, yeah.
directly. You want to announce that real quick?
Sure, it's kgesiki@mcedc.com. Yeah, go ahead and send me anything needed.
Any other comments or questions?
They look good.
Yeah,
Good.
Good
They
job.
look really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but please email it. You can go do a deep dive. If you need a copy of the IGA to compare, let me know. I can forward that to you. We did reference all of that. So 2024-2025 fiscal year final meeting schedule. I am recommending April 18th, which is a Friday. Same time, same place. Uh-oh.
April 18th, I'm pretty sure the county building is closed on that day.
So is Harvard, yes.
I would like to recommend a different date.
What is that, Friday?
Good Friday?
Yeah,
Good
it's
Friday.
28th is fine.
28th, you say?
Good.
Sounds good to me. Glad you were here for that, Lisa.
Going back to our regular 11?
Yes, unless there's another big check coming that day.
I would be more than happy to receive another big check.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I think we should go back to normal 11. All right, and then lastly, I want to just kind of preemptively discuss the meeting schedule for the following fiscal year, which will take effect at next month's meeting. We will bring a budget for fiscal year 24 and 26, we'll bring the administrative services contract agreement for your review for 2025 and 2026. And I want to talk about the meeting schedule as well, if you want it to be bi-monthly, quarterly, what works for you. Also want to, say that for those in the city, if we want to establish something where we're just communicating on a, having a enterprise zone city representatives meeting, if that would be more effective, I'm happy to establish something that we can kind of do some of the mechanics, make sure everything's working. Again, that communication is important to me, and I want you guys to have all the information you can. So feedback on how frequently we want to have meetings in 2025, 26.
And previously you did them every month?
No, every 2 months. So I would say quarterly is probably sufficient for this group, but that's up to you.
I would just say whatever the frequency is, if we can just, at the start of the year, put a recurring.
That's the plan. Yeah, I'll put a recurring placeholder and then Tiana will come in and give the official meeting invites, but just so it's clear on everybody's schedule.
Is Friday the best for everybody?
No.
Not really. It's,
You tell me, we can.
Unfortunately, I think because if we're gonna use a room here Fridays, what we're sort of been leaning towards, because there's so many other of the rooms are being used during other days. Is that correct or not, Alicia?
Can make it work.
If we know, I mean,
We can make something else work. I mean, again, it just kind of depends. Sometimes in the committee cycle, Tuesday through Thursday in the mornings, we might have a little bit of problems just because our committees will run on those days. But again, if there's a specific time, that's not in our, committee cycle, then we can try to play around with the date.
I can communicate with the county and because we don't have to have this decided now. I can communicate with the county and bring a few options.
I mean, we have a lot more options in the afternoon because if you don't have the morning committees, then that makes it a lot easier. But I don't know how that works for other people's schedules.
Understood.
I don't want to be overly selfish or anything like that, but I'm just suggesting maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sometime. I don't really care as long as it fits into other schedules, but. Okay.
So why would the municipalities want it until 11 o'clock on Fridays? Is that something that just happens on Fridays?
The reason prior was the Council of Mayors typically occurs right before this meeting and ended at, I think, 10. So there would always have to and it was at 10 before, and there would always have to be travel. So we just bumped it to 11.
Yeah. I'm always in favor of having the meetings earlier. And I know I said that before. If we moved it to another day, there wouldn't be any conflict, so we could go back to having them earlier. Is that true?
Harvard's flexible. Mark, is your schedule somewhat flexible?
See, Mark doesn't like late meetings.
That's right, he's gone.
I'm just throwing it out there, so maybe if that's selfish, I apologize.
I'll try to make
I'll make it
something
work. Excuse me, Mark, I'm sorry.
I said I'll try to make it work.
Yeah, meetings in the middle of the day are tough.
It sort of kills my day.
Yeah.
I've got other projects going on and get started in one thing in the morning and then have to change clothes and get all dressed up.
With a jacket and everything.
Yeah, everything. So it's just a thought.
Okay.
Understood. Well, I'll come forward with a recommendation so that we can find something effective. That's it for me.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
No,
So I've only been to 2 of these.
And now you're vice chair. Imagine what's going to happen next.
Is there a reason they're scheduled for 2 hours? Because neither one of the ones that I've been to have been even an hour.
Just put it on the calendar for that amount of time, just in case it goes over, but yeah.
we can do an hour.
We can do it in an hour.
Just in the
We'll do it
calendar,
in an hour.
right?
Yeah, and then if something big arises that we need to extend it on a one-off as opposed to always having this 2-hour block.
But hey, now you get time to go get some lunch. So.
All right. Any other comments, questions? Motion to adjourn?
Oh.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.